guys, here's a review that I never thought I would ever do, but I knew deep down in my heart that I would want to do eventually. But considering that 10 Cloverfield Lane is coming out this Friday, I have been given the opportunity. Tonight, I am here to give you my review of Cloverfield. Now, I've stated in a couple videos that Cloverfield was that one movie that I saw that really got me into wanting to make movies. I saw that movie in downtown Universal in Orlando when I was 12 years old, and after I saw it, I immediately wanted to make YouTube videos and movies, and I just wanted to be a filmmaker. This is actually the first camera I ever purchased as a kid. It was $400, and it was kind of like the first thing that I raised money for that was like over $100 or $200. Like, it was the first expensive thing that I bought. And I got this camera and I started making YouTube videos. And if you guys are past fans of mine who have followed me from my older channel, you know that a couple of the videos that I made were found footage videos. One specifically that I made was about me and a couple of friends who encountered this guy in a banana costume, and we decided to make that found footage. And you could tell from my past videos that Cloverfield definitely had an impact on me as a filmmaker, and you can definitely see that in the first couple of videos that I made on that channel. I don't know what it was about that film. I saw it and I just like the style of it. I know a lot of people don't like found footage, but that was kind of like my first experience with found footage, and especially with the given scenario in the movie that was involved, maybe that's why I liked it a lot. I don't know. All right, so enough about me. Let's get started with the movie itself. So Cloverfield is a movie about a group of friends who are throwing a goodbye party for their friend Rob, who has just gotten a job in Japan. And as they're having this party, a monster attacks Manhattan. And the whole movie is filmed and documented by their friend Hud on a video camera. Now, I remember as a kid, the marketing was the exact same way as 10 Cloverfield Lane. Nobody knew what this movie was about. People were speculating so much as to what this could be, and there were so many internet forums as to guess what this movie was about. Some actually thought that it was another Godzilla movie, given the situation where people knew that it was a monster attacking New York City, but you never saw the monster in the previous trailers before the movie came out. And there was actually a theory that came out before the movie was released that it could be some type of Voltron movie. This was because of a line that was said by the character Hud in one of the trailers.
Rob, I saw it. Rob, it's alive.
People actually thought that that line, "it's alive," we obviously know that he said "it's alive" now, but back then, when people saw that trailer, people thought that he was saying "it's a lion." And they actually thought that it could have been like a Voltron movie or something. There was just so much speculation about this movie. Nobody knew what it was. Nobody really knew anything about it. They just had to go see the movie for themselves. But it was his own thing. It was produced by J.J. Abrams, and it was just a monster movie. It wasn't an adaptation of any sort. It was just its own thing, and it was about these group of people trying to survive a monster attack in Manhattan. You know, it's amazing that people are looking so forward to 10 Cloverfield Lane. I'm actually very, very surprised, because I remember back in 2008 that there was a majority of people who did not like Cloverfield whatsoever. Partially the reason why people did not like this movie was because it was found footage. It was a shaky cam movie, and people actually got sick in the theaters. There were actual signs that were being posted outside the movie theater saying, "This movie may cause motion sickness, and you should be very wary about going to see this film." Now, I get it. I absolutely understand if that would hurt your experience and your opinion about the movie if, you know, it's causing some type of health risk. But in the movie's defense to being shaky cam and just, you know, all over the place, if you were in a situation where you were in Manhattan and a monster or kaiju was attacking the city, you would not just stand and properly film said attack. You would have the camera and you would be running for your lives. That's my argument. I don't know. Feel free to, like, you know, disagree, but that is somewhat realistic to me. Someone would not just stand there filming the monster. They would obviously try to get away if they're so close to a creature like that. That would be a scary situation, and I feel as though that adds a little bit of realism to the movie. I also want to acknowledge that this movie has a lot of likable characters, and a lot of relatable characters too. Specifically Rob, the guy that they're throwing the party for. He's got a job that he's going to in Japan, and it kind of goes into the story about him seeing this girl, but he stops talking to her because he's going away, and he doesn't want to, like, you know, develop a relationship, but he still has feelings. And I know it's a little portion of the film and it's not really the main focus, but that's kind of relatable. Like, that's a relatable character. That's a character with relatable issues. And especially the part of the movie where she's hurt, she's stuck in her building, and he feels somewhat responsible because he shooed her off at his party. He feels a necessity to go out and save her. Like, you really feel for that character. You totally understand why he's doing what he's doing, especially when a kaiju is attacking Manhattan. And I also love the character Hud. Hud was hilarious behind the camera. I absolutely love this dude. This is TJ Miller, who is portraying as Hud. This is the first time I ever saw TJ Miller in a movie, I think, or the first time I ever noticed him in a movie. And I love TJ Miller. He was in Deadpool about a month ago, and I love him in Silicon Valley. And I just like TJ Miller. And he was definitely one of the main highlights in Cloverfield that I absolutely loved and enjoyed. There's a specific scene in the movie where I just love his reactions to what is going on around him, where they're on the street and the army is approaching a monster and they go to the sidewalks to kind of like film everything. There's a scene where he's just going like, oh my God. And I just laugh my ass off every time. I don't know why. It's like you either like this character or you don't like this character. And this scene, whether you like him or dislike him, you enjoy his like reaction to what is going on around him. All right, so let's talk about the monster in this movie, who is now referred to today as Clover. I remember sitting in the theater for the first time, and we all knew that this was a monster movie from what we saw, but we didn't see the monster in the trailers. But when I was sitting in the theater for the first time as a 12-year-old boy, and I saw that monster, I was like, oh my God, they showed it! They showed it, it looks cool! I was just like blown away. That was like the first time I think I actually like witnessed something for the first time in a movie that I didn't see from the trailers and was thinking, wow, that's incredible. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to explain, but like, I felt like I discovered something. There was actually a toy that was released right after the movie, and I really wanted to get this toy, but I was 12 years old at the time, and I didn't really have enough money. And I tried looking online to see if it was still available, but unfortunately, they're not being sold anymore. But I would have loved to have that toy as a kid, because I was so infatuated by the Cloverfield monster. Now let's talk about a scene in the movie where it kind of shows another portion of the film, which was actually kind of terrifying, the subway scene. So it's explained during the movie that this monster can actually spawn little spore-like creatures. And our characters are in the subway, they're in the middle of the dark, and they start hearing things, the rats are going in the other direction, and they decide to turn on the night vision.
Oh, turn on the night vision.
What? It's right here. I got it. It's right here. It's there. Yeah.
Is it on?
Yes. Run. Okay, run.
And to me, that was terrifying. That was one of the many things I was not expecting in this film. I was going in there thinking it was just gonna be a monster movie, a majority of the film was gonna take place outside, but then they're in the subway in the middle of the dark, and it's equivalent to a horror film. And then later on in the film, it's revealed that if you get bitten by these spore-like creatures, you apparently explode. Like, Jesus Christ, not only do we have a kaiju, not only do we have like spore-like creatures falling off this monster, but apparently if you get bitten by these creatures, you explode. I also want to mention the viral campaign that's involved with this film. So if you guys notice, if you're watching the film, you'll notice that Rob's brother Jason has a shirt that says Slusho. Now you guys have probably seen this fake drink in many J.J. Abrams productions, but this is kind of the first time that we see it and it plays a large role in a movie. I'm not really gonna go into all of the viral marketing on Cloverfield because it would take hours for me to talk about. You can search for it online, you can find it on the DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. But apparently the company that Rob was going to work with was a drilling company. But they not only did drilling, but they made this Slusho drink. Actually, one of the things that I found while researching this fake company and this fake drink was this very odd video. Let's take a look. Nope, I'm done. I'm done. I don't know what that was. I don't know what the purpose of that was, but I'm done. I'm totally done. And apparently the secret ingredient in this slusho drink, which is like some type of sea nectar, was being consumed by this monster underwater. And it grew to a huge size. Now, a lot of people speculated after the movie that the monster was an alien, but J.J. Abrams came out and said, no, it's not an alien, it was dormant underwater. And it was consuming this nectar-like substance and growing into a huge size. Kind of why I like the slusho drink in other parts of the movie is because that was kind of like my first experience of Easter eggs in a film. You see them generally in Marvel films, but this was kind of the first time I ever experienced Easter eggs. There were probably Easter eggs back when I was a kid, when I was like watching, movies, but this was kind of the first time where I noticed Easter eggs. And the reason why these were Easter eggs and they weren't, the main points in the movie was because J.J. Abrams came out and he said that he wanted to leave that stuff just for the viral marketing because he really wanted to maintain the mystery of the monster in the film. If you were in the city and you were being attacked by this kaiju creature, the movie would not be about people trying to figure out where this thing came from. The movie is very realistic. It maintains a lot of realism, and J.J. Abrams specifically wanted to make a movie where people just didn't know what the hell was going on and they didn't know what the hell was attacking them. That's very realistic. There's also that scene at the end of the movie where apparently you see something falling out of the sky, and that's another reason why people thought that the monster was an alien, but apparently it was just like a satellite that came down and into the ocean, and that kind of was involved with the discovery of this monster. I don't know, it's so much viral marketing. There's so many articles, like fake articles online that go into this mythos of this monster. It is crazy. So yeah guys, that was my review of Cloverfield. I hope you enjoyed this video. I've been wanting to talk about Cloverfield for a very long time now. I just wasn't able to find like a proper time frame, but considering that 10 Cloverfield Lane is coming out this Friday, this was a perfect opportunity. I'm so glad I got to talk about it with you guys. Hopefully you guys understand why this film means a lot to me. I know it's just a random film, but hopefully you guys can understand when it comes to wanting to be a filmmaker, there's always going to be a specific film that a director sees when they're either a child or in their teens that make them realize that they want to be a filmmaker. It can be like the most random film ever. So how about you guys comment down below what that film is for you? What is that film that made you want to be either a movie buff or a director or really go into the like movie industry or anything like that? I don't know, or your own experience. Thank you guys so much. I'm Corbin Stuckey. This is Pixel Talk, and stay tuned for 10 Cloverfield Lane. By the way, J.J. Abrams, I have a bone to pick with you. There better be a monster in your friggin' movie this Friday, because I remember specifically at the end of your movie in 2008 that there was a recording that if you played backwards, it said, "It's still alive. It's still alive. So there better be a monster in your movie or I'm gonna be upset." And I'll probably still like the movie.